Bueno, estamos aquí esperando, nos vamos al tour de los safaris. Let's go. Vámonos por acá, así que estamos listos, celebrando un día más de gratitud. Mira nomás qué belleza. Vamos por aquí al safari. Estamos en
These animals are going to use camouflage for their protection, so keep an eye out on the trees and bushes to see.
En Animal Kingdom, el reino de los animales. Vamos aquí, ahorita en este momento. Es un video hecho ya que
Over on the
no
right
se
hand side are a
puede
couple
por
of
el
the
internet, pero aquí vamos viendo.
look like they're wearing their zebra pants today. Those black and white stripes on their legs may make them look like they're related to the zebra, but they're actually the closest living relative of the giraffe. We know that because their skull structures are almost like
Allá tenemos uno.
a little bit smaller. The grayish antelope up on the left-hand side is a greater kudu. That one was a female because it did not have horns. While male greater kudu are going to get horns up to about 6 feet long.
Bueno, vamos por este lado. Vamos buscando encontrar a los animalitos del reino animal, Animal Kingdom, aquí en la Florida. Como ven ustedes, la belleza, los árboles, y déjame decirte que todo no es roca. Hay mucha roca puesta. Es algo espectacular para los ojos.
You keep an eye on the left-hand side. There's going to be a black rhino. It's kind of tucked in the corner back there. It's a little bit difficult to see. It kind of looks like a big rock. Black rhinos have pointed prehensile upper lips. Those are going to help them grab onto their food. You do have those two big horns that are made out of keratin, which is the same thing that our hair and
Está muy
fingernails
lejos,
are
no
made
lo
out
podemos
of.
ver.
And we are going to start making our way out of the forest and into the river. Safi River is going to be home to animals who like to spend their time in and around the water. So keep an eye on any shadows or bubbles that you see that might indicate that an animal is nearby.
Estamos por acá viendo el río y ahí van a empezar ustedes a mirar.
Over on the left-hand side, there are some pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pink color that's on their back and under their wings. They are colonial nesters, which means that they nest in large groups. They're going to get up to about 500 birds all in one area.
Ahí están los hipopótamos en ese
Over
lugar.
on the left-hand side, those are some Nile hippos. While hippos can swim, they do tend to prefer to sink down to the bottom and walk or run across the river floor.
Ahí.
So sometimes it's difficult to spot them more than their shadow. They will spend most of their time in the water. They can hold their breath for several minutes at a time.
Wow. Mantienen más que todo el tiempo en el agua. Salen a vez en cuando a respirar. Es algo espectacular.
When they come up onto the shore, it is mainly to find food. most of those animals are going to use speed and agility for their advantage. So they're going to be able to run really fast.
Bueno,
jump really high,
exactamente como yo estoy haciendo este video, o como estamos pasándolo, exactamente así se les está llevando. Sin cortes. Estamos aquí en Orlando, Florida. Sin cortes y sin propaganda, como dicen por ahí. Está en vivo y en directo este viaje hacia aquí en Orlando, Florida, Animal Kingdom, el mundo de los animales. Algo donde todo niño y toda persona sueña venir a ver. Allá está la jirafa, look at the big one. Ahora la vamos a ver.
On the right hand side, there are a couple of Maasai giraffes. You can tell that those are Maasai giraffes because their spots have rough, uneven edges rather than smooth. Just look like we are going to get a little bit closer as we make our way around, and we'll get a little bit better of a look at those giraffes to see a couple of other animals a little bit further off in the distance as well that we'll get a little bit closer to. Over on the left-hand side are going to be some African painted dogs. They're laying down kind of in the middle, right by the rocks there, but you might be able to see them a little bit better the other side of this big rock right here. See them a little bit better from there. African painted dogs are the most successful hunters on the savannah, even more so than lions and hyenas combined. Make sure everyone's fully seated for me at all times. They're going to live in packs that are led by a dominant breeding pair. That teamwork is what makes their hunting so successful. Also on the left are going to be some sable antelope a little bit further off in the back, and some wildebeest a little bit closer to us. Sable antelope are actually the emblem of the reserve, and that's because they will never back down from a fight. Their horns are very long and sharp at the ends, and they can use them to defend themselves against predators and spar with one another during mating season.
What is that?
Wildebeest are going to gather in the second most densely populated groups in the world, second only to humans. They gather in groups of about 1.5 million during migration and travel over about 500 to 1,000 miles over the whole migration period. Coming up on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, there are a couple of eland, and it also looks like there is a little bit longer of a giraffe.
Aquí vemos la jirafa.
The eland are the largest antelope species, getting to about 6 feet at the shoulder and weighing about 2,000 pounds when fully grown. They can run at about 25 miles per hour and jump about 5 feet as well. Maasai giraffe are the tallest animals in the world. They can get up to about 18 to 20 feet tall. When they're first born, they're already going to be standing at about 6 feet tall.
Ahí la tienen.
Get a pretty good look at one of those giraffes on the left-hand side here. They do have those long prehensile tongues, so they're going to act kind of like a finger to grab onto the leaves and branches that they eat.
Oh my god.
As part of the height are their really long necks, but they actually only have 7 neck vertebrae. That's the same amount that humans have. They're just a lot bigger than ours are. Some Hartman's mountain zebra way around, leaving their bellies completely white. Zebra stripe have the ability to spring 9 to 13 both sides of the trunk.
Hermosa.
But it does look like we are going to be wandering into some elephant territory here in just a moment. So keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully we'll be able to spot some elephants coming up.
Elephant! Look at elephant! Monkey.
Good point.
Ese es el puente. Bebe,
On the left-hand side. You can tell that those are African elephants because their ears fold over their shoulders. They're also kind of in the shape of Africa, but it is purely by coincidence. I did see a couple more a little bit further along. Hopefully we'll get a pretty good look at them.
allá.
Now we had some researchers go out and work with those farmers to figure out a better solution and peacefully coexist with. Those elephants is hanging out right by the water, so we'll get a pretty good look at them. It does look like they are throwing some mud on themselves, and that is pretty common for elephants and even animals like rhinos. Need natural sunscreen for them, so they'll throw it all over themselves. It's kind of like them putting on their sunscreen for the day. Also acts like a natural bug repellent and to help cool them down on those warmer days. But also on the left-hand side are some greater flamingo. Greater flamingo are the largest and palest pink of all flamingo species. They're gonna get their color from the food.
Oh my
that
god.
they eat.
Oh my
They're
god.
gonna eat things like brine shrimp, which are full of beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is what makes shrimp pink, and because flamingos eat so much of it, they end up turning pink. It does mean that when flamingos first hatch, they will come out. It does look like we are to the other side of the savannah, so hopefully we'll spot a few more animals before we head on out. Keep an eye on the vegetation that's around us. Animals can use it to hide and walk through.
Wow.
You can see a couple of ostriches on the right-hand side. They're like pretty far off in the distance over there. Hopefully we'll see them again as we continue making our way around. But keep an eye on the vegetation that's around us. Animals
Qué
can use it to
belleza la
hide and walk
naturaleza.
through. Sometimes it's difficult to spot them before they are practically right next to us. Lying down right in that grass. You kind of see it flicking its tail. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals, getting to about 60 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
They have lots of adaptations that help them with those speeds, like those long tails. Those are going to help them with balance as they try to make sharp turns. They're also the only big cats with semi-retractable claws, meaning that those claws don't go all the way back into their paws. Those are going to act like cleats to give them traction on the ground. The big rock formation on the left-hand side is called a kopie. It can be used by a variety of predators to get a good vantage point above the savannah. So keep an eye on it. Hopefully we'll spot something up there. Around on the other side.
Oh,
Over on the right-hand side are some white rhinos. We're going to get a little bit better look at them on the other side of this rock wall. White rhinos get their name not actually from their color, but from a mistranslation of the Afrikaans word white, meaning wide, probably referring to their wide, square-like mouths. Not spotting anything up on those. One more look at those white rhinos here on the right-hand side.
that's here.
White rhinos also have those horns hanging out of care. The warden has asked us to check in on their Nigerian dwarf goat. It's also a plant that they come across. It makes them really important for the warden because they take care of the land here. They also produce milk, which the warden can collect and sell. In exchange for all the hard work that the goats do, the warden provides them with their food and shelter. It's a great example of how humans and animals can coexist and even work with one another. Finding ways to coexist with wildlife is super important, just like those elephants and farmers. More sustainable, reusable, recyclable choices can make a huge difference.
And you too,
The
soon.
more we planting those native plants are not only going to help limit the spread of invasive species, which can have severe impacts on our ecosystems, but it can also help support the local habitat for both plants and animals that belong in your area. The one,
Bueno,
the
espero
symbol
que
of
lo
the lion and the
hayan,
number
lo vayan a
one.
disfrutar o
Batch
lo
pickup
hayan
is going to be
disfrutado.
just outside of our
Hemos
exit.
llegado aquí al
There should be someone
final.
with one of those wilderness explorer bags on, hanging out
Contentos y
somewhere
felices.
on the right-hand side. Bumpy out there, so things may be.
Bendiciones
But
para
here in
todos
Harambe, we
y
don't like to say
disfrútenlo.
goodbye. It is far too
Gracias.
sad and far too final. Instead, we like to say